Green Arrow number 31, Benjamin Percy writing, Otto Schmidt on art. This is this the conclusion to Hard Traveling Hero? There may be another issue, actually. It feels
I think there's another issue, but it's going to tie into the next issue. I think is going to tie into Metal.
Yeah,
Or
it
no?
is. Yeah, yeah. Metal's the
Yeah.
next issue.
So this is kind of a de facto closing because the way that it ends.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm cool with it because I really enjoyed this issue.
As did I. Yeah, it was big fun stuff. It was, so basically, we left in this cliffhanger last issue that Ollie's in space. Hal's been knocked out, so he's not getting the shielding of the Green Lantern light anymore. But he's holding his breath and whatnot quick enough that he can hit a button to close the door, and he puts fight to this asshole, this big circle guy, nine circle guy. Can't remember his name. If he had a name, he may not have done.
He didn't.
Yeah,
he's a stubborn man because that's what he talks about. His whole entire thing is when you become a burn man, you learn to love pain, and by loving pain of yourself, you learn to love pain given to others, and it's super creepy.
Yeah,
like
I'm not sure how much I buy the scientific stuff here of Ollie being able to survive as long as he does in space.
No.
But all of it looks great. Otto Schmidt's, doing all these like motion lines. He's very expressive. There's one particular panel of him shooting like through like a bit of metal, and you just see all these shards like sort of like creating a hole to see Ollie. It looks really cool. Some good stuff there. Meanwhile, back down, I was going to say Central City, down in Star City, Dinah and Emmy are taking on the what's his face? I forget his name. The auctioneer, and the underground men. Yeah, so it's them taking them on. You think, and Ollie thinks they're in trouble because there's like screens in the space station saying, "Oh yeah, like this is what's happening with her," and he's worried about that. Basically, what the issue becomes though is that Oliver triggers an explosion in the station, and this space station blows up in space, and it starts all coming down into Earth's orbit, and it's crashing towards Earth, and you get these reaction shots of everyone that we've met in this story arc. We see Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Batman, all looking up and seeing this explosion, and they all kind of like suit up. It's time to go and take
really
care
cool
of this.
page.
It's fantastic stuff because everyone we've been setting up, and this is when Hal wakes up and he goes in to get Oliver, and he's like, "My ring's depleted. I can't really do anything now." And he's like, "Well, I've got enough willpower to help you out," and they sort of combine, try and power the ring, and. Yeah, it's this great moment. Oliver's beat up, and he's just like, yeah, that thing's full of willpower. The richest, he's the richest source in the universe, as he puts it. You see all the rubble outside the window of the space station burning up behind this conversation through the window. It's just a really nice sort of build in terms of atmosphere.
I like the moment before the one that you were talking about, where he says that that's what you get for partnering with me, you dumbass. And there's a moment, and then they both start laughing. Like, it's just a nice moment between Lantern and Arrow. Like, you kind of tend to forget that they were buddies in another universe, Like, because John's really doubled down on the Green Lantern Flash relationship, and the Green Arrow Green Lantern, even though they were the hard traveling heroes, kind of gets forgotten about.
Yeah.
And so this was a nice reminder of that they are playful towards each other, even when times are, they both almost died.
And you get this double dose of just like happiness because you see the Justice League all sort of like getting rid of all the debris, making sure all their cities are safe, and then this biggest part lands in Central City, or not Central City, Flash is somewhere else, but it lands next to Flash, somewhere in the desert, and they all like converge there, and they pick up the rubble, and they just see that. Oliver and Hal are just in this one green bubble that they've managed to create, so they've kept themselves safe as they've descended into Earth, and they're okay. And as soon as you turn the page, you get this single page spread of this girl that Emmy and Dinah were trying to save, and it's just this bright background. It's just this kind of moment of happiness, because you were worried about them. You thought, oh, maybe they might be in trouble. But no, on their own, they dealt with this and they've saved the girl. So it's just this nice double dose of happiness as you get happy endings for both sides of the story. So, no, really happy stuff. Of course, the most interesting part might be the ending, though. Where Oliver is offered a seat at the table at the Justice League. We even see his chair, literally with the Arrow logo on it.
With the Arrow logo, yeah.
Yeah, and he then pisses every single one of them off by saying, "You know what? Nah, I don't want to be a member of the Justice League.
Yeah, he's like, I want to do things my way, and he can't do that with a team, and I appreciate the offer. And then he's like, well, how about a compromise? And he's like, I'll be a rogue agent, which, of course, he does things his own way.
So, sounds like him. But it makes sense. It means when there's a big crisis going on, they'll call him in to help, but he's not necessarily in the Justice League book all the time or anything like that. That's fine. It works.
Although with Priest coming in, I could see him really getting used. You know, Priest has a penchant for flawed heroes.
I think maybe what it's done is put Oliver at the head of the B team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, he's not on the main team, but he's kind of heading up the reserves, as it were. Yeah. And then the last page is just a nice little tie into the metal resistance crossover. I mean, he just says because the mountains just appear, and he's like, you know, go and help my family protect Gotham.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice tease building to next week's crossover issue. Yeah, pretty straightforward issue, but it was very fun and action-packed. It was a big culmination of everything we'd been building up to. So it didn't need as much, it didn't need as much sort of in-depth ideas going on. It was just kind of like taking everything, putting it into a big action conclusion, and everything kind of paid off that the arc's been building to.